Good morning and welcome to Pitstop with your Deers Ford Lincoln Auto Amigos. I'm Tony.
And I'm Fernando. We're your hosts for today.
So today we're going to be talking about something that the kids and teachers are not going to like, and that's going back to school because we're at that time of the year. We're just a couple weeks out.
Yeah, that's right.
So I want to talk to you about things that maybe make school fun, or if that's the case. But Fernando, what's the worst or best outfit you ever had the first day of school?
Oh, I always had really great outfits first day of school. You go shopping and you prepare yourself for that first day of school. I don't think I ever had a bad outfit for the first day.
What was your favorite one?
Favorite one, man.
Do you remember them?
I think the only one that pops into my mind was this Hollister shirt with a checkered shirt, like button-up shirt that goes over it. These fresh pair of jeans. Fresh.
Stale.
No, I think that was my favorite.
So when I was little, my mom, you won't know this, but people that are older will get it. She bought me those Garanimals where you'd match, like if you have the pants have a monkey on it, you found the top that had a monkey on it, and that's supposed to go with that. And I hated those. When I got older and I was in high school, I was pretty much a jeans and sweatshirts, tennis shoes guy, and t-shirts when it was hot. That was just me. But I don't know if I look back and go, oh, yeah, I was rocking that outfit. But have you ever got on the wrong bus or went to the wrong class right away on the first day?
No, wrong bus, definitely not.
Did you ride a bus?
I did for middle school and high school. I had to ride a bus, but I can't remember ever getting on the wrong bus. I definitely went to the wrong class one time for the first day of school. Since my schedule switched, one day was certain classes and the other was different. The other day was different classes. Switched, so I went to the other day's classes. Turns out I wasn't supposed to be there that day.
So when did you find out when the teacher was going through the roster and you weren't on it for that day?
I think I'm gonna blame that on the teacher because the
Of course you are.
first class, she didn't even take attendance. So I thought I was in the right class. The second period was when I realized that I wasn't supposed to be there because the teacher was like, "You're not on my roster."
So you were marked absent in the other class.
On the first class, yes, I was. But I didn't get in trouble because it wasn't my fault.
So I went through the roster right away when I was teaching so the kids knew that. But I don't think personally, I can't remember. Did you sit in the back of the bus or the front? Were you the cool kid or the kid who wanted to be up there?
I was in the middle.
You
Yeah.
took the middle ground.
Yep.
Yeah. So on the first day, who cried more, you or your parents?
Man, I think the day that my mom cried the most was my first day of school here in the United States. The first time I went to school in the US, my mom just dropped me off and I didn't know any English. And I bet she just cried the whole time.
I don't think I myself or my mother cried. They were probably happy that I had to go back to school. So I don't think we had that emotional moment. But my wife, definitely, when the girls started school, that was a tough day for her. But let's talk about your favorite things that everybody gets excited about, that at least when you're shopping for them, school supplies.
Man, that maybe not my favorite thing. I think my favorite thing was going clothes shopping because I get to have new things. I got to pick 4 different shirts.
Well, we're talking about school supplies.
Yeah. I'm just saying. But talking about school supplies, it's cool. There was always these little things that you put on the pencil so like your finger wouldn't get tired, like little rubber things.
I clicked on them that made a pencil bigger, so
like it would just like slip. It was like a little sleeve.
Yeah.
It was made out of rubber, and then you would put it on the pencil, and then you always had to have those.
Did you have to have those gel pens?
Yeah.
I don't even think those were there. I don't think they had gel pens when I was in school. Now they had the mechanical pens.
They always put pens on the school supplies list. I never really used pens because
Really?
you would, I
Use a
mean,
pencil?
throughout school, you would always use pencil. I don't know why we needed pens.
Well, you had those mechanical pencils that you had to put your own lead in.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, I enjoyed that. But then after a week, it seems like all your lead's broke and it doesn't serve any purpose for you because you don't go buy new lead. And if you tell your mom, I need more lead, she's like, well, we just got you all those. So that didn't pay off real well. It didn't work out real well.
You didn't buy more lead?
No, no. You just used a regular pencil, which is what you should have just bought. But the mechanical pencils were cool because you had something to play with. But then when you break all the lead, then it's no good. How about Trapper Keepers, those notebooks? Did you have those?
What's that?
It's a 3-ring notebook, but it has different compartments in it. They got the pouch in the front and the back, has different sections. So like, here's this class.
Like a binder?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a Trapper Keeper.
I have never heard a binder being called the Trapper Keeper.
He's too young. How about folders? Did you have the
Yes.
colored folders
Yep.
in your notebook? Are you good at organizing?
I'm not much of an organizer for sure. I saw that face. They ask for a folder for every class. Never used all the folders. I think I only used one folder and just put everything inside of that folder.
Did you always have a backpack?
I did.
But
yes.
Dora the Explorer on it?
No, it was Diego. I don't think I used like a cartoon backpack or a child backpack all the way to like first grade or second grade.
Did you take your own lunch?
My mom would. Well, in Mexico, back when I used to go to school, now they have school lunches and stuff. But back when I used to go to school, like every mom would go down to the school and take lunch to their kids.
Really?
Yeah. So it was like recess and lunch combined. We were all outside, and then we would just go and get our lunch from mom because they were just around the school giving out their lunch.
So did you have like a Scooby Doo lunchbox?
I had
Lightning McQueen.
I think it was Power Ranger. Yeah.
Power Ranger.
Yeah.
Box. Did the thermos match it?
I didn't have a thermos.
Oh, so you didn't have anything hot?
No.
So how about those scented markers? Did you have any of those?
Yes.
Like the blues, raspberry.
The blue raspberry was always my favorite.
See, I like the purple, the grape one.
Yeah.
Now, I never had those, but when I was a teacher, kids would have them, and it was like, oh, those are cool.
Yeah.
But then you want to eat your
You want to eat it, and that's a problem. You definitely don't want to do that.
What school supply was totally overrated?
Overrated, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I have to say the mechanical pencils.
Really? I always use mechanical pencils.
You didn't break your lead?
You had more lead.
But at some point, you run out of lead.
Then you just go buy more lead.
Well, if you're poor like me, you couldn't afford more lead.
I guess lead is more accessible nowadays.
So when you were at school, when you came to the United States, you had school lunches.
Yes.
So what was your favorite lunch at school?
My favorite lunch at school, they had this. It was like a hexagon style pizza, and it was super good.
Like stuffed crust?
No, it wasn't. There was no crust. It was just it looked like a stop sign, and it had like little pieces of meat on top, and it was delicious. I don't know what it's called though, but it was the best lunch in my opinion.
The bad thing is if you go to eat it and then you'd stop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. When I was a kid in the elementary school in Peru, Nebraska, which, it's not South America, we had a group of old ladies that were the school cooks, and everything was handmade. Everything was homemade. Mm-hmm. And they made this, it was mashed potatoes with, I think it was turkey or chicken gravy on the top of it. And then they had homemade dinner rolls, but you could get 2 of those. So I always got 2 of those. And the great thing, lunch was always great. I liked the pizza too, the homemade pizza. But the great thing was after everybody was served, you could go back and get more.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, yeah. And especially they started with the older kids first. So usually by the time, when you're in the younger grades, you never got anything extra because they'd all eat it all. But when you got to be in those upper grades and you got to go back first, you got plenty of lunch and it was always great.
One memorable lunch item that I just came to me was for Thanksgiving. They would have a piece of turkey and this sugar-coated cookie that looked like a turkey. And like the sugar was like colored. So the turkey looked like a turkey. And wasn't the best, but Food was good.
Did you ever go to lunch and you go, I don't know what that is?
Yes. Yeah.
Did you eat it?
Yeah. You know me. You know I ate it.
Well, hot sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably good.
Did they have hot sauce?
No, they never had hot sauce. And then back in when I was going through high school, I think is when they took away the salt because it wasn't healthy for you or something. So they took away the salt. So we couldn't even put salt on stuff. That was terrible.
So what snack or food item would you trade your whole lunch for?
It's hard. I don't know. They used to have these like little popsicles. I don't know what they were called, but they only had them like once in a while, and those were good.
You know, the cookies that, remember these old gals that I said would cook lunch?
Yeah,
They made homemade cookies.
those must have been good.
Yeah, I would have traded my whole lunch for the cookies. I don't know that my diabetic doctor would like that now. He's probably thinking you should never have done that. So talking about teachers and classmates, the funniest teacher you ever had, what made him funny?
Funniest teacher.
Now, remember, I wasn't your teacher, so you can't pick me.
And it was a good thing that you were my teacher, Tony. You would probably be yelling at me all the time, just like you always do. Favorite teacher or funniest teacher, I think, was one of my math teachers in middle school. Yeah, she was always funny. I can't remember why. I just remember that she was
Tell jokes or just her personality?
just her personality. She wouldn't tell jokes. It was just how she was.
You know, I had a journalism teacher and Schwaniger, Mr. Schwaniger, and he would do this little teapot thing.
Mhm.
He'd sing the song and then he'd
Oh yeah.
do the action. Here's my handle. Here's my spout. And that was funny. As far as that, most of my teachers were pretty serious. You know, I would bet you a lot of my students would say, yeah, he was very serious. And I was at the beginning until everybody learned that these are the rules. You're going to follow the rules. And then I'd have more fun with them after that. But definitely got to make sure we're following the rules first before funny comes out.
You know, I had this teacher. He was the architecture teacher in high school. He was a weird guy. Shout out to you. But he was
about the weird guy comment. I mean, I was just kidding.
No, I'm not kidding. He was definitely a weird guy. I'm not sure he should have been a teacher, but
Man,
you were a great architecture teacher.
you knew your stuff.
Yeah.
Your favorite class versus that class, so you're thinking, how am I ever going to use this?
Man, you know, my favorite class overall was definitely engineering class.
Driving a train?
The train.
Yeah, engineer.
Not that kind of engineer.
Oh, different
No.
kind of engineering.
Yeah. I took a lot of engineering classes and computer science classes, so I was really into all that stuff. But I guess that's why I'm here. But
Did you ever that class that you go, where am I going to use this?
yes,
What class was that?
probably science. I'm like,
You know, I would say
what am I going
science.
to learn? Where am I going to need to know that a plant photosynthesizes itself?
You know, you could just be out in the wild and think, you know, I should dissect that frog just to see where it
Yeah.
comes in. Yeah,
Get some frog legs out of it
yeah.
and make a soup. Mm.
You know, my favorite class, I had two of them, and that's probably why I had a double major in college, and they were both art and PE. My two favorite classes. Shocker. PE, I liked to compete. I just enjoyed playing the games. And then art, you know, I didn't even know how many of my friends knew I took art class. But, you know, same thing in college, you know, when I invited all my teammates to come to my senior art show at Midland, they're all like, you're an art major? I'm an artiste. So those are my two favorite classes. The one class that I was always thinking, I don't even know where I'm going to use this, was algebra. You know, I didn't care why X equaled Y, and I didn't really care to find out either. That's probably why I didn't do that great in that class. But yeah, that was the class I was always thinking, I'm never going to use this. Did you ever get caught passing notes or talking? Get in trouble for that?
No. I got in trouble for talking for sure. Not passing notes, I think.
So when you were telling the other kids they were wrong?
No, Tony, I wasn't always like this, all right? What my mom would get called in all the time when I was in kindergarten was because I would get distracted a lot.
You're that kid that just couldn't focus?
Yeah. tells a lot and tells you a lot about me actually. But yeah, she would always be called into the teacher's office about that.
I was very social, so I always would get in trouble for talking. The big thing, you talk about kindergarten.
Yeah.
True story. We had a parakeet in the classroom, and I knocked over the bird cage.
Did you kill him?
No, it was flying around the room. And when I knocked it over, a bad word came out of my mouth. I got my mouth washed out with lava soap. Do you know what lava soap is?
What's lava soap?
It's where you clean your hands with it. So it's a very abrasive. If you're going to have to take a bite of soap or lick the soap bar because you swear, which that was probably the only time I ever did that. But that would be the worst soap you could have to take a bite out of. And I had to. And, it's one of those, when you're in kindergarten, you're crying because you didn't want to do that. And then she called my mom. That was worse because, I got in trouble when I got home too. I think I got a double dip of soap. And so my mouth was very clean after that.
Good.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy that very much. So some rapid fire things. School bus or your parents drop you off?
My dad would never drop me off. School bus. He said, I paid for it. You better go on that bus.
When I was a kid in grade school, we walked to school.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it had snowed 5 feet, then my dad would take us. But normally, we just walked to school. And we even walked through some bad stuff. And I think I know the answer to this one. Pizza day or taco day?
My school didn't have a taco day, so pizza.
You didn't have tacos?
No.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Now, see, I would say pizza too, but I love pizza. I could eat pizza every day. Frozen pizza's good.
That's gross.
People are missing out on that. So, homework or pop quiz?
Pop quiz. Hated homework.
Homework was easy.
No.
And then the pop quiz, you didn't even know it was coming, right? That's why they call it a pop quiz. So you didn't know.
But I paid attention in class.
Yeah, right. You were talking. Your mom got called in for that. Book fair or field trip?
Oh, that's a hard one because I love the book fairs. Because you would always get cool stuff from the book fairs, like little things.
Like bookmarkers?
No, they had cool things. They had like toys and stuff at the book fairs.
You didn't get a bookmarker?
I did, but I would definitely go for field trips.
You said book fair.
No, I said I really like book fairs.
Oh.
But I'll go for field trips.
I like the field trips. Number one, it feels like you're not in school because you're going somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And, we used to go to we went to the Capitol. That was cool. Scariest place we ever went to, my sociology class, we went to the state penitentiary. That scared all of us. That's when I decided this would be a very bad place to be. So didn't like that field trip, but favorite subject?
Engineering.
So did you want to go be an engineer?
At some point, yeah.
Then you decided Auto Amigos is a better fit.
The best way.
Absolutely. One thing you would tell your old school self during your school days?
Enjoy the after school programs a lot more than I did.
I was always involved in things, but if I go back now, I'd say just be yourself, because I think when you're a kid, you get caught up in, I got to be cool.
Yeah.
And I think more so in the era that I grew up, guys were just tough. And so you didn't show that funny side or that soft side of you, which, I don't know how soft I am, but
I don't know how funny you are either.
Really funny. But I don't think, and we moved a lot when I was a kid. And so when that happens, you're going to school and you want everybody to like you and you want everybody to be impressed. And so you tried so hard to be that cool guy so you fit in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if I did it again, I'd just be me, and once I retired from teaching, even when you're teaching, you can't really be a clown. You got to have some discipline. If there's no discipline in your classroom, not many people are learning anything because it's just jack around time. And so I was even that way then. And then, now that people say, I never knew you were funny. Like Fernando. And I said, when you're a teacher and a coach, it's really not a platform for them.
Yeah.
Now, my wife and kids saw that clown in me at home.
Well, if you would have just been an art teacher, that would have been all right.
No, I was an art teacher.
Well, yeah, but if you were just only an art teacher.
Yeah, with coaching too, that was my passion. I really enjoyed the teaching, but I really loved coaching. I wanted to be a coach. And so that was a great time for me. One thing every kid should experience before they grow up:
You know, man, I don't know what they can experience, but
not paying bills.
they'll experience that.
Enjoy that.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what I was going a little segue into that was I think kids want to grow up so fast nowadays and they don't get to enjoy, just being a kid. And everybody wants to grow up and, be cool, but just enjoy it.
That I think every kid, there's something for everybody. I think you should get involved in school things, after school things, just the things you learn from that, being a part of something. And there's so many things you can find what you enjoy. It's not like, hey, you have to play football. If you don't like it, go do something else. But there's all these other things in clubs that offer those opportunities. But I think being involved outside the school day, it creates some bonding with your other classmates. And it also, you get a chance for that passion in you to come out that maybe you're not showing in algebra class, but it's there. You just needed what you're interested in before that comes out. So, the one thing I would say, the end of summer comes around. I know my wife and two of my daughters are in education, and I don't know how thrilled they are to see that summer come to an end, but they've all been at the school working. And so I know that, there's somewhat of you, that's some part of you that's excited about it. And I know also kids are excited to get back and see their buddies, and spend that time. Everybody loves that social time. I think parents are ready for a break from the kids being at.
Yes.
And so, although it can be something you're dreading, it's also a great time of the year to get back into a routine, get back to see your pals, experience those things that the school offers for you.
What's one cool story that you have about school as a kid?
When I was always into the sports, and I mean, I'm not going to lie, that was my favorite part of the school. And an opportunity to compete, I was very competitive. I hated to lose. And but there was a time when my fifth grade teacher, she came to me. We had a young man who was struggling, and she kept me and one of my buddies after school. And of course, she was very flattering about, you guys are this, you guys are this. He really needs somebody like that. And so we would stop in the morning and walk to school with him, and then we'd walk home with him, and we got to be friends. And I want to tell you, if she had not done that, this is probably not a young man I would have hung out with. But we got to be good friends. And there was part of him, he wasn't into the same things that I was, but I appreciated what he was into. He was, number one, he was very smart. And so if I needed help with my homework, he was a great friend to have. But he just was into different things than me. And what that did for me was it opened me up a little bit to, not everybody's into the same things that you are. And you can have these other friends. They don't have to be just people that do what you do. And so I think that was a great thing for me. And God bless Mrs. Cruz for opening that up to me, because otherwise, like I said, I would never have been friends with that young man. And he was a good friend.
That's a very touching story. My story is not as touching. Well, this is going to be funny. It's going to be funny because my kindergarten was haunted.
It's just like your house.
It's not. No, my house is not haunted. All right, my kindergarten was haunted. They would always have, because back then they had like a slide. It was all metal slide, and the swing sets and all that. Well, the swing sets were always tied up because there was a ghost that would get on a swing set, and that thing would just start moving randomly.
Was the ghost named Wind?
No, there was a lot of trees. Okay, there was no wind. It was just haunted. It would just start moving out of nowhere. So they always had to tie the swing sets together because there was always, people would always see things around there.
Most ghosts are going to haunt a playground if that's their choice.
That's what I'm saying.
Not that old mansion.
No. And when you graduated from kindergarten, right? You would always have like a camp out at kindergarten. So you would do some games throughout the day, and then at night you would just sleep over at the kindergarten. And there was like, they would hide like the little gold coins made out of chocolate. They would hide them, and then you would go out there looking like a scavenger hunt. That was fun. But at night, spending the night at kindergarten when you know that there was something there was pretty scary.
Hopefully your kindergarten's not
I
haunted.
hope
Your
not.
school's not haunted.
Hope not.
I've seen some haunted school things on the videos. That would be scary.
Yeah, they probably pop up because I've seen them.
Well, one thing I would tell you, go back to school, enjoy the start of the school year, get off to a great start. Teachers aren't bad people. Don't go in the classroom and cause problems. Go in and learn and get to know your classmates, even those kids that you think maybe you don't have a lot in common with, because you find out those are good friends to have. It's okay to be friends with people who aren't into the same things as you are, and enjoy the end of the summer. You had about 2 weeks left, and then get back into school and have a great start of your school year.
I hope you guys have a fantastic school year. Make sure you guys learn something new every day. It's always fun to learn. So make sure you guys are doing that. And hopefully you guys can come out to one of our challenges and win some money throughout the year. So we will see you next time.
Thanks for being with us on Pit Stop with your Deersford Lincoln Auto Amigos, and we'll see you next week.